Hello and welcome to the Inspiring Life School podcast. This is your host, Frances Vidakovic, and on this podcast, I'll be sharing with you the most valuable strategies to live your one wildly beautiful and most precious life. Because this is it, my friend. In case you haven't guessed, when it comes to life, there's no rewind or pause button that exists. They say that the way that you spend your days is the way that you spend your life. So my one and only goal here is to help you stop wasting your time, stop holding yourself back in life, stop experiencing non-stop negative mind chatter, stop just dreaming without doing, and start living life fearlessly instead, with more purpose, focus, and intention. I sincerely want you to live life in a way that when you come to the end of it, you know deep down in your heart that you 100% gave it your all, flaws and all. This podcast is not about doing life perfectly. Instead, it is about experiencing and living life with more clarity and courage and truly appreciating this precious adventure that we are so blessed to be on. So if you're with me here today, it's time to stop spinning in circles, get off the hamster wheel for good, put your hands back on the steering wheel of your life, and finally start living life in a way that you won't later regret. With that being said, let's dive on in. Hello, my friend, and welcome to the Inspiring Life School podcast. I'm your host, Frances Vidakovic, and I am genuinely so excited to be talking about this topic today. I'm going to be addressing a question. What if life actually gets better as you get older? And the reason I wanted to chat about this specific topic, and I don't think there's that many people in the world who really sit down to ask themselves this question. We just assume that after a certain age that everything goes downhill, that it's during our youth that we have the most fun, and when you get older, maybe fun isn't even possible anymore. But what if this simply isn't true? What if there is no downhill in life when it comes to our age? And the only so-called downhill spiral that can happen is determined by a downhill spiral in your attitude. So this is where I want to share with you that I actually remember having some drama about getting older when I was 29, turning 30. I think I probably have had it at all the milestones, but in particular at 29. And this sort of seems really hilarious to me now that I'm 47, edging, slowly towards 50. I honestly, probably back at 29, did equate old age with meaning probably a more boring life filled with more responsibilities. I remember thinking, oh, okay, I'm turning 30. I can't just quit my job and travel around Europe anymore because I've just had a baby. I had a baby on my 29th birthday, and now we have a mortgage and I'm married. So obviously, we need to be more serious. I had all these assumptions, but here's what ended up happening in my 30s and in my 40s. I ended up having way more fun than ever before without all the mind drama that I carried around with me in my teen years and in my 20s. Because back then I simply hadn't learned enough about myself and about life to really develop the maturity that came with me only through time, only through, getting older. So in my 20s, of course, I had lots of fun. I lived 2.5 years on an island in Europe after I finished university. I didn't have a care in the world back then, and it was really amazing. But I also didn't have the self-awareness that I have now. Back then, I was probably a people pleaser who cared way too much about what people thought of me. I had big dreams, but often, well, probably not often, probably all the time, not enough confidence to execute those dreams well. And I remember worrying about the dumbest stuff. And even though I'd studied psychology and I was taught how to manage my mind well, I did not have the years of experience to really master that skill. And I'd always recognize how other people could apply the strategies to their own life, but I would always forget to apply it to my own. And it's like that saying by Anne Landers who said, at age 20, we worry about what others think of us. At age 40, we don't care what anyone else thinks of us. So true. And then at 60, we discover that they haven't been thinking of us at all that entire time. Now, of course, if I could go back in time and live that life again with my current brain and what I know now, my gosh, I would be unstoppable. But that isn't a possibility for any of us. We can't go back in a time machine and relive our youth again. And the way we get smarter and more self-aware and genuinely more confident is through the years of experience. It's like this other saying by George Bernard Shaw who said, youth is wasted on the young. They have the most beautiful, precious gift of youth, but they haven't yet gained the skills to fully appreciate all the amazing opportunities that come along with it, that come along with their youth. When you probably look back at those years like I do as an older person, we wonder oh my gosh, why weren't we more fearless? Why didn't we take more risks? Why didn't we stand up to that person and say this and do that? Why didn't we seize each day, every single day? And the answer is, the reason that you and I, if you're older like me, the reason we didn't do those things is because we hadn't yet learnt to be that way. Or maybe you thought you had more time, okay? That's something that lots of young people think. They think they have all the time in the world, which is a perspective that young people often think they act as if they're immortal, which is why they squander their time so easily. they probably just assume, well, I can do that tomorrow. I can do that next year, because they don't yet have this proper realization that time is limited, time is finite, that it's going to pass at a seemingly rapid pace, especially as years go on. Like the older you get, it feels like time is sometimes flying. So it's easy for us in retrospect to see what younger people, are doing right now and how they should be doing it differently and how we should have lived our past life differently. We can say that now from the perspective of an older person, like when you've already experienced middle age and beyond, and when you have your own regrets in life and you wish you had appreciated your youth more. But the only way you got that wisdom, that amazing wisdom that comes with time, is from living those years, from living years and years on this planet, which is why I believe that there is a shift that happens when you get older, when you do realize that time is precious. Time is finite, that if you want to achieve something, like if you want things to happen, it's actually up to you to make them happen right now. No one's going to hand them to you on a silver platter. They're not just going to fall into your lap like we probably assumed that they would happen when we were younger. We have to make them happen. And rather than believing like, well, I'm too old, I can't do that, it's too late, you have the option of just ditching these limiting beliefs like today. Okay, simply decide, my life gets better the older and older I get. Repeat after me. My life is getting better and better and better as I get older. Hey, my friend, I just want to pop in and share with you the most amazing news that Inspiring Life Academy is finally open for enrollment. So inside the Academy, you are going to find every single course that I've ever created in my business to help you manage your mind, time, and life in a way that finally gets you the results you truly want. And I'm not kidding when I say it includes literally everything. There is over 50 courses and coaching roadmaps included inside with a total value of over $3,000. So to access this membership today at a super low founding members price, please make sure to check out inspiringmumlife.com/academy. That's inspiringmumlife.com/academy. Now, I have no idea how long the doors to the Academy will stay open, so if you're curious, I encourage you to check it out today, and I can't wait to see you inside. Now, I'm probably really lucky because I've always been surrounded by older people who still do their best to live their life to the fullest. The moment my sisters and I all finished university and high school and so forth, my parents went to spend 4 months every year in Europe. Like for the last 25 years, they've done that. My mum did stop going once her parents both passed away, but my dad is, heading towards 80 and he still continues to go back to spend the summers in Europe with his family and his friends, and he lives his life. Like they do their best to live their life. A lot of family members, a lot of the older family members in my family specifically, they always tell me they still feel so young inside. They don't feel limited by their age, which is pretty interesting when you think about the fact that we have to even say that at all, because it's like there's this assumption that, when you get older, that you can't have fun, that we have to be boring, even though there are so many examples of older people in this world living their best life and doing the most amazing things. Now, I think you probably already know, if you've listened to this podcast for a while, that I love Oprah, and I just want to share with you just a few of her quotes about aging. So she has said in the past, the best way to look at aging is to see it as an opportunity to leave behind what didn't work and step boldly into a brand new future. And another quote was, every birthday you decide whether to mark it as the end of your greatest days or the beginning of your finest hour. Imagine if you truly embrace this idea that every birthday you have, this is the beginning of my finest hour. And she also wrote a while back, it was in an article, she wrote, I've had wonderful mentors. Maya Angelou is 83 and still doing speaking tours. Quincy Jones, who recently celebrated 78, is always off in some far-flung part of the world creating new projects. And Sidney Poitier at 84 epitomizes who and what I want to be if I'm fortunate to live as long. He's still reading everything he can get his hands on, continually expanding his fields of knowledge. I know for sure that only by owning who and what you are can you step into the fullness of life. Every year should teach you something valuable. Whether you get the lesson is up to you. Every year brings you closer to expressing your whole and healed self. I celebrate that, honor it, hold it in reverence, and I'm grateful for every age that I am blessed to become. As always, I'm getting little goosebumps while I'm reading that out to you. So the big takeaway that I want you to consider embracing after today's episode is consider that the best is yet to come. Consider that life can actually get better and better as you get older. I know this is true for me simply because I've decided to believe that these thoughts are true. And when I think thoughts like this, I feel excited and inspired about life. And in turn, I take action from that hope and inspiration, which impacts the results that I have in life. Whereas imagine if I chose to think thoughts like, well, this is crap, my life is going downhill. Of course, I would feel disappointed and disheartened if those are words that I was constantly telling myself. And of course, when I'm feeling hopeless and sad and really terrible, I'm not going to have any fun. I'm going to take zero action, zero purposeful actions. And the result is like the thing that I feared the most comes true simply because I believed it to be true. So from here on, my friend, okay, no looking backwards. Okay, your life is what it is. You are standing here right now, wherever you are, whatever age you are, and the direction I want you to be facing and heading is forward. And the cool thing is you now have way more wisdom and self-awareness than you probably had at 20. So use it wisely. Use it to your advantage. Start living your life now. Start nurturing yourself now and your dreams now. It doesn't matter if you've ignored those things in the past. I want you to start today, because one day you're going to look back at the age that you are right now, today, while you're listening to me speak, and think, my gosh, like, why didn't I just go for it back then? Like, I was only 47, or I was only 56. And those years are going to feel so useful to you when you are a 76-year-old or an 80-year-old, I promise you. And I really feel like I have to mention, like, we're lucky to live that long. Like, if we get to live that long, that is a gift. So make sure, like, undercurrent of this whole episode is make sure that you are taking great care of your health. And I want you to know that if you want to practice this skill of embracing your life right now with more intention, if you want to take back your power today and actually create the results that you want in your life, I'm encouraging you to check out, and not just check out, join me inside the Inspiring Life Academy. Now, for more info on the Academy, just visit the link inspiringmumlife.com/academy. That's inspiringmumlife.com/academy. If you feel like the content that I provide on this podcast is helpful, I take things so much deeper inside the Academy, where you're going to find over 50 courses and coaching roadmaps. My life's work is literally right now waiting for you inside the Academy to embrace. So if you're ready to ditch just dreaming and actually start doing, ditch the overwhelm and have super super focus and clarity, and have the strategies to get you exactly what you want, whatever it is, I'm here to help you. So take care, my friend, and I can't wait to either see you inside the Academy or on the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to the Inspiring Life School podcast. I really appreciate you allowing me to be a part of your life. If you'd love to stay in touch, please know that you can always find me on Instagram at Vidakovic, or you can visit my website, inspiringmumlife.com, where you can sign up and receive so many amazing freebies that I've created just for you to help you implement all my teachings into practice. There you'll also find all my online courses, resources and programs that I've created to help you uplevel your life in seriously the simplest way possible, so that you can ultimately create for yourself a life that feels simpler, lighter, and allows you to show up in a way that you love as your best and most authentic version of yourself. Now remember, this podcast is all about not just dreaming but also doing, because to create true sustainable change in your life, you need to be willing to do things differently. And that's what I'm here to support you to do every single step along the way, so that you too can begin to live your one wild and precious life with less stress, less overwhelm, less drama, and instead with zero regrets. Finally, if this podcast resonates with you at all and you appreciate the content, I would absolutely love for you to show your support by leaving me a review on Apple Podcasts. I'm on a mission to help more people wake up to the preciousness of life and to help them live their days with more intention and purpose, and your review will help make this goal of mine possible. Well, once again, thank you so much. I have loved spending this time with you, and I look forward to connecting with you again. I am Vidakovic, and you have been listening to the Inspiring Life School podcast.